This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Tristan Hildebrand coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Tuesday, April 21st. Three countries revoke President Lai Ching-te's flight permits without warning under pressure from Beijing. U.S. think tank President Hsiao encouraged by Taiwan's self-defense commitment. Vice President Hsiao Bi-khim says Taiwan is a trustworthy partner in sustainability, and Jensen Huang will deliver the keynote address at Computex Taipei 2026. But first, today's top story. President Lai Ching-te's trip to Eswatini has been postponed last minute after three countries, Seychelles, Mauritius, and Madagascar, revoked the president's flight permits without warning under pressure from Beijing. President Lai was supposed to leave Thursday on his second overseas trip since taking office at the invitation of Eswatini's king. Now, for security reasons, the trip has been postponed, with plans for a special envoy to be appointed instead. Tuesday evening, the day before the trip, the presidential office announced through an emergency press conference that the flight and trip would be postponed over security reasons. Presidential Secretary General Pan Men-an explained that the permits for Lai's flights were canceled by Seychelles, Mauritius, and Madagascar without prior warning after what is currently understood to be pressure from China, possibly via economic coercion. Pan strongly condemned the actions, saying that not only is such coercion unprecedented, but also constitutes blatant interference in internal affairs of other countries and disruption of the regional status quo. The Secretary General underscored that the Republic of China, Taiwan, is a sovereign state with the right to engage with other nations. He said no country has the right or ability to interfere with Taiwan's foreign diplomacy and thanked like-minded countries for their assistance negotiating related matters. President Lai Ching-te met with a visiting delegation from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, on Tuesday, including President and CEO John Hamre. Hamre said he is encouraged by Taiwan's commitment to self-defense and expressed confidence that pending United States arms sales will move forward. Speaking at the presidential office, Lai thanked Washington for upholding its commitments to Taiwan under the Taiwan Relations Act and the Six Assurances to Taiwan Act, and pointed to a recent U.S.-Japan leaders summit that reaffirmed the importance of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. Lai described Taiwan as being on the front line of the democratic world, facing daily pressure from authoritarian threats. He praised CSIS for helping draw global attention to cross-strait security through wargaming, policy analysis, and international outreach. CSIS President Hamre said he was encouraged by Taiwan's commitment to self-defense, including both military investments and civil resilience measures. He cited ongoing efforts by U.S. Indo-Pacific Command Samuel Paparo and expressed confidence that pending U.S. arms sales to Taiwan would move forward. Hamre said,
"And I think that Admiral Paparo, who heads the Indo-Pacific Command, is leaning forward in very important ways because he now knows we have this partner in Taiwan. And so I feel very good about what you've accomplished in these last 2 years. Very good. There's still a lot to do. We still don't have the legislation in place to be able to pay for the arms deal. But I think that'll come. I'm hopeful because I think the citizens of Taiwan know that it's part of their defense. And the stronger we prepare, the greater the deterrence."
Emphasizing that peace requires strength, Lai said Taiwan is boosting its defense capabilities and building whole-of-society resilience. He said the government plans to raise defense spending to more than 3% of GDP this year, with the goal of reaching 5% by 2030, alongside a proposed 8-year, $40 billion special defense budget. Vice President Hsiao Bi-khim said this Tuesday that Taiwan aims to be a reliable global partner in advancing sustainability as the world faces mounting geopolitical tensions, energy challenges, and climate risks. Speaking at a meeting for the 2026 Earth Solutions Initiative, Hsiao said overlapping pressures including aging populations, low birth rates, and extreme weather are increasingly affecting daily life and testing societal resilience. The vice president said Taiwan's resilience has been shaped by decades of responding to natural disasters, global health crises, and external pressures. She pointed out that President Lai Ching-te has launched 3 national-level committees focused on whole-of-society defense resilience, public health, and climate strategy. In an interview, Hsiao said,
"Of course, on the path to sustainability, Taiwan is definitely a partner the world can trust. In 2025, we began implementing carbon pricing, fully launching the second energy transition, especially actively developing diversified green energy, deep energy conservation, and actively introducing smart energy storage and disaster-resistant power grids."
Taiwan will also leverage its strengths in technology and artificial intelligence to drive digital and net zero transitions, Hsiao said, emphasizing that innovation should focus on delivering practical solutions. Sustainability, she added, depends on partnerships across sectors and borders. Computex Taipei will return June 2nd through the 5th, with Jensen Huang set to deliver a keynote address a day earlier, organizers announced this Tuesday. Taiwan External Trade Development Council, TAITRA, announced that NVIDIA founder and CEO Huang will speak on June 1st at the Taipei Music Center. His presentation is expected to outline the latest developments in artificial intelligence and highlight partnerships needed to build a broader AI ecosystem. During the exhibition, NVIDIA will also host GTC Taipei at the Taipei International Convention Center, an event that brings together developers, researchers, and business leaders to discuss new technologies, applications, and industry trends. Organizers said this year's Computex will span multiple venues, including Nangang Exhibition Center, Halls 1 and 2, Taipei World Trade Center, Hall 1, and the Taipei International Convention Center. The event is expected to reach a record scale of 1,500 domestic and international companies, occupying 6,000 booths. Taiwan stands ready to provide necessary assistance at any time following a strong earthquake off the east coast of Japan this Monday. President Lai Ching-te issued a statement in Japanese on social media the day of the quake. President Lai also expressed condolences and said that Taiwan stands with the people of Japan. He said he hopes the local residents are safe and sound. The Foreign Ministry, MOFA, announced Tuesday that the Sydney-based Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, TECO, is in the process of purchasing new property. The mission hopes to move locations by the end of 2027 following renovations. No new buildings have been purchased for overseas Taiwan missions since 2023. MOFA says that government-owned property and staff residences make up nearly 17% and 27%, respectively, of Taiwan's total overseas offices. MOFA General Affairs Director General Chen Jingling said the Sydney office is in the process of signing a contract, after which the office will begin renovating and procuring proper equipment. The government is also reviewing plans to purchase property for overseas offices in other countries, which would help to reduce costs by eliminating rental fees. As of 2024, MOFA owns 19 office buildings and 30 official residences for overseas missions, including the TECO offices in New York and Los Angeles in the United States and the Jordan TECO. In addition to the purchase in Sydney, Chen said the ministry is currently reviewing purchasing new property in the U.S. cities of Boston, Houston, and Denver. Taiwan's representative to the United Kingdom, Vincent Yao, shared Taiwan's efforts in building societal defense resilience with the UK Parliament's Joint Committee on National Security Strategy this Monday. Using sections from In Case of Crisis, Taiwan's National Public Safety Guide, often referred to as the Little Orange Book, as examples, Yao stated that Taiwan is determined to resist aggression. Yao noted that the government plans to raise defense spending to more than 3% of GDP this year, with a goal of reaching 5% by 2030. He said this will be a substantial amount considering Taiwan has around the 20th largest economy in the world. Thank you for joining me for the news. I'm Tristan Hildebrand. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.